What's going on, guys? I'm Jaye the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Floyd Mayweather. Apparently, he is suing a company or individuals who promised to put up $120 million for Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight, or that was supposed to take place. But apparently it turned out to be one big scam, and he's suing because the fight was supposed to be done in Dubai. Now, we all know that Dubai is where the money is a lot of times, and I think Floyd Mayweather and his team truly believed that those people wanted to have that fight there. The money would be there. That's why he's doing all this. And now it looks like he may not make as much money as he thought he was going to make, which is why he agreed to do this fight, and may have some subtle regrets, because we all have seen after the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul meet, him and Jake Paul had a face-to-face where Jake Paul stole his hat and got knocked in the face for it. And we all seen the infamous photo of him looking crazy. I think we seen that. But according to this article, from TMZ, Floyd Mayweather's boxing company files $120 million lawsuit. Logan Paul fight should have been in Dubai. Floyd Mayweather says the Logan Paul fight was supposed to go down in Dubai, but the organization he teamed up with to put on the event dropped the ball, and now his company is suing for more than $120 million. TMZ Sports obtained a lawsuit filed by Mayweather Promotions alleging a company called PAC Entertainment Worldwide approached them about hosting the event in Dubai at an undisclosed date in 2021. They were, what's interesting is that they were actually supposed to have the fight, I believe, in February, but they pushed it to a different date, which may coincide with this. Mayweather Promotions claimed that PAC claimed to have numerous business contacts in Dubai and had the financial wherewithal and capability to host a fight of this magnitude. Most importantly, Mayweather Promotions says PAC presented financial projections estimating the fight could generate guaranteed amounts for each participant, plus result in the promoters earning more than $100 million in profits after covering all purses and expenses. Mayweather Promotions admits it was impressed with the pitch and claims it ultimately signed a deal requiring PAC to pay a minimum guaranteed amount of $110 million on the prescribed payment schedule. Mayweather Promotions claimed the first payment of $30 million was due March 25th, 2021, but the money never came. Mayweather Promotions claimed the missed payment triggered a clause allowing MP to terminate the deal while still requiring PAC to fork up the full $110 million. In the suit, Mayweather Promotions claimed they were left scrambling to make new fight plans, ultimately worked out a deal to move the fight to Miami on June 6th, and that's when I talked about the moved date. Yeah, it appears that Mayweather definitely got scammed in this, and the people who came to him, they must have really impressed them, because I'm not going to say Floyd is a fool. I don't think Floyd is a fool at all, but it's obvious that the people around Floyd talked him into it, because why would a company that, I don't know if they've dealt with this company before, but if you haven't really dealt with them, you haven't really known of them putting on fights, putting on events, whether the people have actually made money, why you would sign and look to them to pay you in advance, because they were looking at projections, and maybe in their mind they didn't think they'd have to pay so much up front, but when they realized that, I think that's probably when it was like, man, we can't do that, because they probably were looking more so on the back end. But Floyd Mayweather's a businessman, but he's a businessman that got caught up with somebody who was a sophisticated liar and was able to convince him to accept this. And that's why I say, man, when you're doing business with people, you have to do your due diligence. You have to do due diligence. And it's almost like the person, either Floyd knew of a person that knew him, or he looked at the package. Because some people can get on social media or whatnot, and they could present themselves, or they could come up with fancy titles of companies, right? They have all these contacts, but they never put you in contact with the contacts. That's why you need to do your due diligence, Floyd. You don't go trying to sign no deal with anybody that you really have never dealt with like that. And I'm going off of this right here. But according to the rest of the article, it says Mayweather Promotion is suing for a breach of contract, demanding at least $122.6 million in damages. So again, yeah, Floyd he definitely got conned in this situation, and his team was left scrambling because they thought that they were going to get paid a lot of money a lot of money up front for this fight, which is why people are looking like, why would Floyd agree to do this? Now, I have no problems with Floyd Mayweather and what he does with his life as far as how he spends money, but Floyd has a very expensive habit. Two, one is attention. He has an expensive habit of attention and doing things to get as much publicity and attention to go his way, right? And he also has an expensive spending habit, and he likes to buy expensive things. He lives an expensive lifestyle. He can afford it, right? But at some point, even as a businessman, you're going to notice a decrease to the point to where you're going to need to go out there and have big paydays. And he thought that this would be an infusion of a big payday for him. I don't know how Mayweather Promotions have been doing with their fighters. You know, I'm pretty sure they're doing okay with that. But Floyd lives on a different level financially, so his upkeep is probably very expensive. So when he's able to get a cool $100 million for this fight, and he's thinking that he's going to get that money up front and also money on the back end, he decides to do this fight. Now, I'm not saying that Floyd needs the money. I don't think he needs the money at all. But he's a guy, once again, who lives a certain lifestyle. He runs a promotional company. He has like 24/7 security. That stuff costs money. And also, he has an expensive habit of wanting attention. And this fight is definitely a way for him to garner that, because he's seen what Logan Paul and Jake Paul has done. You know, Jake Paul is single-handedly went from just being a YouTuber that does stupid things for views to a guy who's legitimately becoming one of the top influencers, or the top influencer on social media, who's able to get a large amount of engagement and get a large amount of interest. Floyd Mayweather sees that. Now, he's not going to be fighting against Jake Paul, but that could happen down the road. He's fighting against Logan Paul. But he sees an opportunity to get into that market because Floyd keeps his ears to the ground. And I'm pretty sure he sees what's going on. He sees the interest in celebrity boxing. And he's like, well, wait a minute, why don't I get in on it? And with the help of this pack company, he was going to do that in Dubai, because I guess that's where the money is, you know? And he got fooled big time. Man, he's looking extremely bad in this situation, because once again, he's known as a good businessman. Now, nobody's perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to read people wrong, but he definitely read this person wrong. If this person was promising to pay you $30 million up front, or close to $100 million before the fight, then obviously Floyd Mayweather misread this person to the point to where they were able to convince him to sign with them, and that they were going to help them put this fight on. And Mayweather believed it. And I think one of the main reasons why he's suing is because not only financially he's going to have to put this fight together, him and his team himself, but he got left looking bad. He got left looking bad in this situation and looking fooled. He got fooled. And that's one of the reasons why he's suing. His ego got fooled. Maybe that's why he's walking around with that look, right? That scruffy look, like he's still quarantining. You know, that could be a way to throw you off. The dude probably training like crazy. And what I think Floyd was able to do is say, you know what, we lost out on this money, you know, and having a fight in Dubai. But you know what, this press conference, this meeting with Logan Paul, that can become something that drives the numbers up for us. So when we make up for a lot of that lost ground, having a fight in Miami, probably going to be full capacity. Then you add in Jake Paul with his trolling. It's a lot of money to be made. I watched a video clip of Floyd on, I think he was interviewed by Barstool. It was right after the situation with Jake Paul. And he didn't seem like he was upset about it. It just seemed like he was very hyped. Like, I haven't seen Floyd hyped like that in a minute. So this could be marketing. I'm not saying that, it's totally staged like some people, but some things work out to where you realize dollar signs. You realize a situation occurs and it's dollar signs, because all people talked about for days was that situation with him and Jake Paul.